Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, today's content is all about what President Biden just said in relation to executive orders and the Second Amendment and gun control while he was getting on Air Force One yesterday, March 26th. This is huge, guys, and how's this for a setup? We are looking at that right now, Biden said when asked about an executive order. We are looking at what kind of authority I have relative to imported weapons, as well as whether or not I have any authority to these new weapons that are being made by 3D equipment that aren't registered as guns at all. There may be some latitude there as well. Okay, by the way, that pause that I just did, that's actually in the quote. It's like, so that wasn't me, that was our president. But there's two things that I want to bring up in this, and I've got a great article that's in the description box below you guys need to check out. If you have any question on how the executive order system works in relation to laws and Second Amendment and gun control, check it out. It's really, really strong. Now, I'll be honest, there's nothing new here. We've had presidents in the past who have done the banning of imports. 1989 was George Herbert Walker Bush, and then Clinton was in 1999. That's why we're saying on this channel constantly, watch the Congress, because they determine everything. And especially since Manchin's wife was just appointed to the cabinet by Biden administration, I'm kind of like, oh, that changes things. But we're going to keep on pressing forward because we got a mission here, people. But basically, I'm going to read this article. I'm going to bring some things up here that are very, very important, which I think are very interesting. Now, this is from The Trace, okay? This was written on October 2nd of 2019, and the link is below. This is right after the second and third presidential debates for the Democratic nominee. This isn't even against Trump. This is before the nominee's been established, okay? How much power does the president actually have over gun policy? When it comes to changing laws, not much. However, as the head of the executive branch, the president can direct how its agencies enforce gun laws and influence internal practices. A good example of that would be the ATF and banning different items, like banning bump stocks or banning M855s or banning the SB braces. Basically, when they change, or silencers, or changing these definitions, when they're doing these things, that's the executive order branch doing that stuff. So that's kind of what he's talking about here, or what it's talking about here. The president can prioritize enforcement of current laws, direct existing infrastructure like the background check system to operate differently, or, most dramatically, promulgate formal rule changes to rewrite the particulars of regulation. Outside of the DOJ, the president can also address the proliferation of guns through trade policy. Trade policy, import, export. Again, other presidents have done this. This is nothing new. This is kind of like, I can't get the laws I want, so I'm going to try to do something and appease my base. That's what this is, okay? Now, the next quote here is where it starts to get juicy. Joe Biden has said he would use executive action to block the importation of assault weapons. As vice president, his office was in charge of the Obama administration's efforts to limit gun violence through executive action. Okay, what he's basically saying right here is, yeah, I would just stop bringing more guns in the country. Fast forward to 2021, that's what he's saying now in this first quote. It's important. You're looking at a historical record of what's happening. He said in the past, in the debates of the Democratic nominations, I would ban imports. He's saying it now, as president, I would ban imports. There's continuity there, okay? At the third Democratic presidential primary debate on September 12th, a question on this issue drew Harris and Biden into a tense exchange. Again, this is before they're partnered up. Biden insisted that the president's executive authorities were limited when it came to cracking down on assault weapons by executive order. Some things you can do by executive order, many things you can't. He's saying this before he's president. He knows this is here, and he knows he's limited, and that's why this article is so important. Now, they brought some opinions in from other, basically, constitutional experts on this very topic. First one, the most significant thing the president can do is influence the ATF, and the ATF has to abide by what Congress has told it to do. So what that means is the ATF can get directed by the president, but they have to obey the rules from Congress. So, the whole executive legislative thing, yeah, gotcha. The next one is the president can't establish universal background checks by executive order. A ban on the import of assault weapons is not the same as a ban on assault weapons. Okay, it's very, very different. And that, guys, is why we need to continue pushing hard. We can make a huge difference, and we are making a huge difference, but we got to stay on it because this is ever changing. And until tomorrow, I'm Braden. See you later.